The adventurous story begins with Claire and her mother, Jessie, who used to live in a house with their friend Luke. Claire's father had passed away many years ago in an unknown manner, but Jessie never let Claire feel the absence of her father. She always made sure to provide Claire with everything she needed. However, for some reason, recently Claire started seeing strange symbols all around her. These symbols seemed to represent a different kind of language. Claire became very disturbed by these things and began to feel like it was some sort of frightening dream. What was shocking was that when Claire drew these symbols on paper, both her mother Jessie and Luke were surprised to see them, but it seemed like they already knew everything about the symbols and were hiding something from her. One night, Claire went to a nightclub to have some fun with her friends, but she started seeing the same unknown symbols everywhere. She tried showing them to her friends, but no one else could see them. The situation escalated when Claire went inside the nightclub and saw several unknown people attacking regular people. Claire got very scared seeing this, but no one else seemed to notice these strange people. The next morning, Claire woke up to find that the same symbols she had drawn were all around her, and it felt like someone was controlling her to make these things happen. Her room was completely filled with strange symbols. The scariest part came when the unknown people started following Claire. She had no idea where to run to save herself. Suddenly, 2 agents showed up at Claire's house, breaking the door and attacking Jessie. These agents were asking Jessie about a cup that was very important to them. Jessie quickly managed to escape from them and, showing remarkable fighting skills, she started defeating the agents. No one knew where these skills came from, but despite everything, Jessie did not want to tell the agents anything about the cup. So, Jessie quickly tricked the 2 agents and went into a room where she drank a strange liquid that immediately made her fall into a deep sleep. The agents, however, managed to capture her and were taking her away. A short while later, Claire arrived at her house and was shocked by the mess everywhere. Things were scattered all over the place, and she couldn't find her mother anywhere. Just then, Claire saw a strange-looking dog in front of her. In the next moment, the dog began transforming into an alien that started approaching her to attack. This alien was able to stretch and flex its body in all directions. In a panic, Claire rushed to the kitchen and turned on the gas. She quickly hid inside the fridge to avoid the blast. As the alien dog neared the gas, a massive explosion occurred. The blast caused the alien to suffer severe injuries, but it quickly recovered. Now, the alien revealed its true form, a terrifying monster with large tentacles. Claire realized there was no escape from this creature. It was right in front of her, about to strike. Just as the alien lunged toward Claire, another agent appeared and killed the alien. This agent saved Claire's life and introduced himself as Jeff. He explained that these aliens could shapeshift into any living organism, and that some dangerous people were after her for important information. Jeff told Claire that she was in serious danger, but he also revealed that they were shadow hunters, a group tasked with capturing different types of aliens across the universe. While they were talking, they discovered that a witch who lived nearby and practiced dark magic had sensed that a great danger was approaching Claire. The witch invited Jeff and Claire to her home and warned them that something ominous was about to happen. Since the witch's mother was also a shadow hunter, she could see Jeff. Claire, seeking help from the witch, explained that her mother had been taken by several shadow hunters and that she needed to save her. To help Claire, the witch spread out a series of taboo cards to read her mind and gather information. As Claire slowly reached out to touch the cards, one of them stuck to her hand. Upon examining the card, she realized it depicted an immortal cup that contained nectar of immortality. Jeff also understood that the shadow hunters were after Claire because they wanted the immortal cup. The witch, using her magical abilities, tried to read Claire's mind to figure out where the shadow hunters had taken her mother. The witch discovered that the shadow hunters were not only after Claire's mother, but also after Claire herself, because Claire was mysteriously connected to the immortal cup. Just then, Claire's friend Thomas arrived, visible to Jeff. Normally, shadow hunters could not be seen by ordinary people unless they gave permission, which allowed them to appear visible to others. With this clue, the witch informed Claire, Jeff, and Thomas that the shadow hunters had gone to Duke's apartment. Duke being Claire's mother's friend. The The three of them rushed there, only to find that the shadow hunters were torturing Duke to find out where the immortal cup was hidden. Claire began to suspect that her mother and Duke were hiding something from the shadow hunters. As they tried to rescue Duke, the demonic agents realized that Claire and her friends had arrived. The agents began moving towards them, but once again, Jeff intervened and started fighting them off. Jeff, being a skilled shadow hunter, was able to defeat the agents quickly. He grabbed Claire and led her out of the apartment, but to their shock, everyone outside, down to the police officers, had turned into demons. These demonic figures, in various forms, began chasing Claire, intending to capture her. Jeff continued to protect Claire and took her to a safe place, which turned out to be a secret institute for shadow hunters. Only shadow hunters were allowed access to this place. Once inside, Jeff introduced Claire and Thomas to other shadow hunters who were part of his team and fought against demonic aliens and agents. They were treated with great care, and Claire was welcomed into the community. There, Henry, the experienced leader of the group, arrived and realized that Claire was confused. He understood that he needed to explain the history of the shadow hunters to her. According to Henry, many years ago, the devil and his demons created an immortal cup that was incredibly powerful. Anyone who drank even a sip of water from this cup would become half a shadow hunter. There were only two ways to become a shadow hunter: either by being born into a shadow hunter family or by drinking from the immortal cup. If a person drank from the cup, they would gain extraordinary skills and powers, making them nearly invincible. Some time ago, a shadow hunter named Alan, who had been overtaken by dark forces, sought to make himself more powerful. His goal was to capture all the shadow hunters and rule the world. To do so, Alan stole the immortal cup created by the devil. In his quest for power, Alan killed many people to obtain the cup. After drinking from it, he absorbed its powers and became strong enough to control countless aliens and dangerous creatures from across the universe. However, Alan still craved even more power, so he began experimenting with the cup to unlock even greater abilities. Claire's mother, realizing the potential danger of these actions for Earth, secretly stole the cup from Alan to keep it safe. However, no one knew where the cup was hidden now. Henry believed that Claire's mother had locked the memories of the cup's location deep inside Claire's mind. Henry explained to Claire that they needed to unlock her mind to find the immortal cup, as it was hidden somewhere in her memories. He then shocked her by revealing that her father had been killed by another shadow hunter while fighting against Alan. Her father had sacrificed his life in that battle. Later, Jeff took Claire to a mysterious underground place called the City of Bones. This place was where shadow hunters, after dying, came to have their bodies sealed forever. Jeff had brought Claire here for a specific reason: to unlock her mind and retrieve the details about the immortal cup. He ordered the shadow hunters to perform a ritual to help unlock Claire's memories. As they delved into her mind, Claire started to recall pieces of her childhood. She remembered a moment with her mother when she saw a card with a picture of the immortal cup on it. Claire's mother had given this card to the witch who lived in their neighborhood, indicating that the witch was somehow connected to the cup. Just as Claire was starting to piece together more of her memories, she fainted. Jeff and Thomas rushed to her aid. It was revealed that only the person who had locked Claire's mind could unlock it, and Claire could only catch glimpses of who or what had done this. For now, Jeff focused on helping Claire recover since the process was causing her significant pain. Meanwhile, the vampires and demons were desperate to find the cup's location. They kidnapped Thomas to blackmail Claire into revealing what she knew. In response, Claire, with Jeff by her side, immediately headed to the vampire's lair to rescue her friend. The place was filled with all kinds of dangerous vampires, but Jeff and Claire successfully freed Thomas from their clutches. It turns out that the entire situation was a trap set by the vampires. A large number of vampires surrounded Claire and Jeff's team, and a fierce battle ensued. Despite their bravery, Jeff's team was outnumbered, and many of them were killed by the vampires. The remaining survivors were in grave danger as the vampires closed in on them. Just when things seemed dire, a massive army of werewolves arrived and attacked the vampires, giving Jeff and his team the chance to escape. They quickly rescued Thomas and fled the scene. As the story progressed, Claire and Jeff grew closer, and a strong bond developed between them. They eventually confessed their feelings for each other. One day, while Claire was concentrating, she discovered her first supernatural power. She realized that she had the ability to bring anything from a book into reality. For instance, she transformed a small teacup into a real object. Claire quickly understood that her mother had given the card with the immortal cup to the witch because Claire could use her abilities to bring the cup into reality. This was likely why her mother had kept the card safe. Without wasting time, Claire went to the witch and demanded the card. Using her powers, Claire extracted the immortal cup from the card, revealing that it had always been hidden inside. However, just as this happened, the witch started transforming into a dangerous demon because her body had been possessed by demon spawn. The witch, now in her alien demon form, tried to take the cup from Claire, but just in time, Jeff and his team arrived to help her. Together, they fought the demon witch and ultimately killed her. With the immortal cup now in their possession, Claire went straight to the Institute and handed it over to Henry, knowing the next steps were crucial. As the story unfolds, Henry, who was initially trusted by Claire and the team, reveals his true treacherous nature. He opens a portal without telling anyone, and through it, Alan, who turns out to be Claire's father, emerges. Henry then hands the immortal cup to Alan, making him the most powerful being in the world. This revelation shocks Claire, as she learns that Alan had faked his death years ago. He had fallen to dark forces in pursuit of power, which led Claire's mother to hide the immortal cup and block Claire's memories to protect her from the dangers ahead. Alan, now seeking to control the cup, approaches Claire and tries to convince her to join him. He pours his demonic blood into the cup and urges Claire to drink it, promising that she would become a shadow hunter, gaining immense supernatural powers. However, Claire, fully aware of the consequences of drinking from the cursed cup, refuses. Instead, she quickly seals the cup back into the card, preventing her father from accessing it again. Claire then uses the portal to escape, but when she teleports, she finds herself surrounded by more demonic creatures disguised as humans. Among them is a demonic girl who is intent on killing Claire. Just as the girl approaches, a powerful werewolf intervenes and attacks the demonic creature, saving Claire. To Claire's surprise, the werewolf is none other than Duke, her uncle, who had been protecting her mother all along. Duke had also sent the werewolves to help Claire when she and her team were surrounded by vampires. Now, Duke reveals the truth about Claire's father and everything that had been kept hidden from her. In fact, Alan wanted to become very powerful, but after the loss of the mortal cup, he declared himself dead. Claire then discovered that she had a brother who had been killed by her father, Alan. However, now Alan was extremely angry because his own daughter was betraying him. Alan needed to get the mortal cup at any cost, so he sought help from demonic creatures. Using his dark powers, Alan opened a portal to a different world, through which many demons began to enter Earth's atmosphere. These demonic creatures had become so numerous that a large army was needed to defeat them. Claire's team of werewolves and shadow hunters had realized what Alan was planning, and if the demonic gate wasn't closed, many creatures would spread throughout the world. Therefore, all the shadow hunters united and set out to close the gate. The good news was that Thomas had found someone like Claire's mother, who had been captured by Alan. He was now trying to get her to the rest of the group, but their path was not going to be easy, as powerful demon souls were chasing them. These demon souls didn't have a proper body structure. Instead, they could alter their structure in any way and attack the werewolves and shadow hunters. Many hunters lost their lives, but still, the team kept moving toward the demonic gate. At this point, Claire realized how many lives were being lost because of her, so she began to trust herself and believe that she had some abilities within her. Claire started to unleash all the powers hidden inside her, realizing that she also belonged to a family of shadow hunters, and these powers had been dormant in her body for a long time. She quickly used a small diamond to unleash her powers and stopped the approaching horde of demon souls right there. Everyone was shocked to see the powers inside Claire, but since she had only just learned this ability, she couldn't hold them off for long. Taking advantage of this moment, All the shadow hunters launched an attack on the demonic creatures. Although many shadow hunters lost their lives, the remaining ones moved forward toward the gate. Meanwhile, Alan was with his wife, who was still in a deep sleep. Claire immediately rushed to her father, Alan, and held him at knife point because she didn't want him to harm her mother. But Alan smiled and said, "Perhaps you don't know, but your brother is still alive, and he's none other than Jeff." So, Jeff was Claire's brother, but they had both developed feelings for each other. In fact, Alan had blocked all of Jeff's memories, so he didn't know that Claire was his sister. Now, Alan wanted to take back the cup with Claire's help. Jeff, determined to save Claire, kept attacking his father relentlessly. Meanwhile, the other shadow hunters were still trying to close the demonic gate, as dangerous creatures were coming out of it, spreading black energy and wiping out Earth's population. Alan didn't care about his children at all, and was determined to kill Jeff. Just then, Claire threatened to throw the mortal cup into the portal, knowing her father would do anything to get it. Realizing this, Alan released Jeff and moved toward the cup. Claire handed it to her father, but she alone knew that the cup was a fake. As soon as Alan took the cup, Claire pushed him and sent him through the portal to another place. Now, Alan was trapped in a place from which he could never return. Jeff quickly destroyed the ritual that was keeping the demonic gate open, finally closing it. However, Jeff and Claire had made the mistake of underestimating their father. Alan, from inside the portal, tried to pull Claire in. Jeff immediately rushed to help Claire, fearing that if Alan succeeded in pulling Claire in, she would be trapped there with him. That's why Jeff gave Claire a magical knife, which she used to strike the portal. The portal completely transformed into stone, trapping Alan inside. Together, they destroyed the portal, ensuring Alan could never return. Since Claire never took the mortal cup out, it remained safe inside the card. After everything settled, we are shown a scene in a hospital where Claire had been admitted. Slowly recovering, Claire learned about all her powers. Using her abilities, she redecorated the entire house. But here, Jeff came to Claire and said, "Even though our father said we are siblings, my feelings for you have always been the same, and they will always remain the same." Claire replied similarly to Jeff, and now the two of them set off on a long journey to learn more about themselves, marking the end of this adventurous story.